It's the cousin challenge. Put up your dukes, Chris. You ready to come in? Cottage cheese versus steak. The ultimate throwdown. Hey,
Oh my gosh.
how's it going? Hey, we need a
Uh,
background. We need a background. Let's get
I
rid of
know.
there. We got a
Yeah.
background. The old Brixies. How you doing?
Good. Long
Good.
time no see.
Yeah. Yeah. Like about 3-4 hours ago. You said you were going out with the girls. I was like, is Krissy gonna show up sauced for the FNL tonight?
No.
Probably just make for a better show, right?
Right?
No, Krissy
I'm
and I,
always fun.
you're all that is true. That is absolutely 100% true. I can vouch for that. Krissy and I went my sister Ann, she's at Sift Separate on Instagram, or Ann Metz, ANNMETZ.com. She's an artiste and she had a show tonight. And Krissy and her crew, she had a whole squad with her. Well, so did I, but mine were 3 feet tall. Yours were a little bit taller than that. She had her whole crew of ladies out tonight. Did you guys have fun?
We had a blast.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about on a Friday night. You can't be just
Yes.
doing Friday Night Live every Friday night. You gotta have some fun sometimes, right?
Well, you go through those periods in life where you're like, I don't have any friends. Like, I've been so immersed in my family for so many years that, like, I don't know who me is. And so I found these ladies and we connected through our previous venture
Yeah.
in
Okay.
weight
That's
loss.
where you met them. Okay. Yeah, and I
Mhm.
knew it was fun to see Amy, a mutual friend
Yeah.
through that program, who I guess I had never met in person, and we met over Zoom
Yeah.
on during COVID, and yeah, I was like, we didn't meet in person. I was like, I guess that's how everybody was meeting back then, was through Zoom.
Well,
So
we went to nursing school together, me and Amy. So I knew Amy. But the other two, we were all coaches. So
gotcha. So my sister had an art show tonight. Yeah, you should check out her art. If anybody's an Office fan, I trained my boys before we came in. I said, when you see your Aunt Annie, you tell her your art is the best art of all the art. It's a little Office line for anybody who's an Office fan. But anyway, so they did it. She got a kick out of it. But yeah, AnnMetz.com or Sift, SIFT separate on Instagram. So check her stuff out. But yeah, we went there tonight. It was a good time. And then Krissy went out with her crew, and me and my little crew went out. We got some pizza down the street and had a good old time. So, but let's get down to the nitty gritty. We got
and
it.
here we are.
And here we are meeting virtually on Friday Night Live. So we've got our little cousin showdown, throwdown. So why don't you start by telling me about your week?
Wow. Wow. Well, my week was about baseline for right now. We had some good days and we had some not so good days. Um, but we didn't gain, also didn't lose.
Well, that's not stepping backwards, so I would take that
Right.
for sure.
There may have been a brownie, which I told you about earlier, but yeah.
A
So,
brownie, a brownie.
a
That was
brownie. It took me 2 days to eat a brownie.
right. Now, did it take you 2 days to eat a brownie because of the Wegovy or because of the uh, like superhero self-control, or maybe a combination of the two?
It may have been the size of the said
Oh
brownie.
yeah, so it was a pan. It was a sheet pan.
If anybody knows what a quick star is, it's a quick star brownie.
Okay. So it was like a fist size brownie.
It
A
was
Dave
a
half
brownie.
fist. So yeah, you and I had similar weeks. So okay, so to just not to steal my own thunder, but like same. Like I didn't lose a single pound this week, but I am happy because the first week, if you remember, the first week I lost 8 pounds. So when I
I
weighed,
was so nervous.
you were so because you're like, hey, he keeps this up. Well, I'm gonna have to get my gallbladder removed. But second of all, yeah, that would be crazy. And I knew like 8 pounds in a week. That no, it's not how it works. But to be then a week removed to be at that same weight a week later, I'm going to call that a win, because now I could say after 2 weeks, it probably is, a significant loss from that first week. So let's talk. Like, I had a great week last week. It was my first week on Weight Watchers. I was super excited about my progress. I was super dedicated to, doing the points, the whole deal. Right. And then like this week, I traveled for work, which was great travel. I got to do some of the fun stuff in my job. Like, I mean, it's all pretty fun, but like, I got to go down and shoot a video in Kansas City and edit a video together. Like, this is what I do for work too. So I enjoyed that. But I just really didn't put a lot of checks and balances on myself with what I ate. So like, I think I sent you my CGM. I should have uploaded it here. I forgot to, but like, I used up all my Weight Watchers points in a day. And then I think I used up most of my extra weekly budget that they give you too. Like, it was that kind of day. Like when you're driving, I feel like it's got to be really rough to be a truck driver. Cause it's like, you drive for a couple hundred miles. You're like, might as well go eat, a couple hundred miles more, like might as well go eat again. And especially like when you're driving past things maybe you don't have at home or stuff like that. So it can be, it's a harder challenge for me when I drive somewhere than when I fly somewhere. When you fly somewhere, travel's really hustle bustle. It's like, it's almost hard to overeat. You're running through the airport. You're actually it's probably a net positive. You're working out more, you're moving more, and you're eating less. But when you drive, especially when you're alone, it's like, it's boring. So I'm happy to be at 2 weeks at 8 pounds down. I'll take that. So my weight currently is at 281. And you said last week that you're 3 pounds underneath me. So that puts you at 278-ish.
This is so weird saying that out loud.
Yeah. Well,
it is what it is.
Well, hey, you're not saying 320, like that's what I was saying a couple years ago. So
my heaviest I've ever been. Sorry, I just showed I'm always cold. I got my blanket on my legs like an old lady.
Does Wegovy make you noticeably more cold?
No, my body makes me cold.
I've
always been.
It's cold-blooded. Yeah. All right.
So cold hands, warm heart.
Yeah, 100%. All of it's in your heart. Bless your heart. And not in the Benjamin Davis way where it's Southern and sarcastic. I mean, literally bless it. So Wegovy doesn't make you cold. Mounjaro makes me cold, still makes me very, very cold. One of the first videos that I ever did on YouTube, I did a funny little video of me freezing at work. It was like, I had my coat on and I was shivering, and like, I'm a big, hefty guy. I don't get cold. Like, getting cold, not a thing for me. But I have noticed that when my body's in the mode of losing weight, so this happens to me every time I lose weight. When I start losing weight, I get really cold. Like, my body has a harder time regulating itself. And I don't know if that's like weight coming off fast and it's used to more insulation, or whether it's something metabolically that happens. But yeah, I get super, super cold. Michelle says the hormone changes make us cold, and bariatric surgery does it too, even before the weight loss. Interesting. Take some.
The biggest thing I noticed.
Niacin makes me feel flush. But okay, go ahead.
The biggest thing I notice is like the dry mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. Just like, I walked in and saw your mom and was talking to her, and I was like, I'm sorry, I have to get water. My lip is sticking to my teeth.
That reminds me of that scene in is that Jim Carrey movie?
I was like,
yeah. Yeah, there's a Jim Carrey movie where he's like plays a highway patrolman, and his face does that.
It's Me, Myself, and Irene, isn't it?
That's it.
Don't tell me.
So neither of us lost any progress this last week. I'm gonna call that a win for this week. It's interesting. I keep telling people Mounjaro lets me eat normal people portions, feel normal people full. It continues to do that for me, but I'm never really get the feeling where I'm just not hungry. And it's just interesting because you hear so many people share And I got it kind of early on, but like, I feel like anymore, there aren't really days where I'm like, I don't want to eat. And anecdotally, like, I hear so much of that from other people.
I
Uh,
have those days.
do you?
Or I have those days where I'm hungry. Literally, there's nothing. That must just be the boredom. My brain perceives that as hunger,
Yeah.
but there's literally nothing that sounds good, so then I don't eat.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Those are probably the days that you're home, I'm going to guess, right?
Well, that's good. Yes, it is. It
Yeah.
is. So,
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
there's that boredom factor. And that's kind of what I was talking about with Ben Davis when I was
mhm.
talking about Weight Watchers. Like, that has been the gift of Mounjaro, is that like, if I want to overeat, my body's not really letting me. But if I'm wanting to continue to eat, I'm like, there's something wrong. Like, there's something wrong in the wiring there. If my brain goes, keep doing it, but my stomach is like, please don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Right.
that's where I say, like, with this whole Weight Watchers joining with Sequence, like, I feel like they're 2/3 of the way there. Like, you need to address the diet. That's not insignificant, and exercise. I feel like those things kind of go hand in hand. Lifestyle changes, right? So Weight Watchers has kind of done that. Although somebody might argue they don't have much on the exercise side, but at least in the past, you could add points back in by exercising. I don't know if you can do that anymore, but anyway, behavioral changes, right? So we'll call what they've done in the past behavioral. Now they're adding the medical. And I feel like the next thing that they need to add is that third prong. And that would be something like the Noom app that addresses the why. Why do you eat when you're not hungry? Why do you eat past full? All of those things are very important to understand. And you could even take it one step further than Noom and go to like those. So there's so many virtual counselors, therapists, things like that, just incorporating that third layer of like helping people get to the bottom of why do we overeat. And I feel like once they have all three of those, I feel like they're addressing kind of the whole person.
I was talking with the nurse practitioner, Angie, the other day, and we had our first checkup, and she was talking, "Oh, well, I know it's Iowa and I know it's cold, but I want you to walk like 15 minutes 3 or 4 times a day." And I'm like, "Look, I'm not going to do that. Just flat out, I'm just not going to do that. First of all, I'm already cold sitting in my living room and I control the thermostat. Okay, I'm not going out there.
Right.
It's not
Leaving the
happening."
house in Iowa in the winter is like, nah.
But on top of that, I have an active job. I get that I only go there 3 days a week. Do I get credit for that 3 days a week though? Because I am on my feet. I am running here and there. When my cousin comes, I sprint. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I have an active job. And I told her that, and she was like, "I know." And I'm like, "Here's the thing though. When I get home, I don't just like sit here and cover up with my blanket. Like, I'm constantly doing things and cleaning. Like, we need
You're
an adaptive." Right. Thank you. I'm like, I we need an adaptive barometer, tracker, whatever it is, to tell me I am still burning these calories, like my Apple Watch will tell me, but we need to integrate it in all of this. Like, I clean my house. That included vacuuming, washing the dishes. The other day I did it all before I took my scrubs off.
yeah,
It just so like I am active, but it's daunting to get on a treadmill.
yeah, yeah, right.
But
I
I'm
hear
moving
you.
my body.
I hear you. So what you're saying is ultimately you wish there was a better way to track your
Right.
activity and
So I
incorporate
don't
that back in. Yeah.
feel like I need to be doing better because I think realistically, like, here's where my heart's at. Like, where you're saying, I just want to be like everyone else. I want to do the things that, eat the real people for food in real people portions.
Yeah.
But I want to live the real people life as well.
Yeah. Right. I 100% agree with you. And I've felt for a long time like,
Normal people, not real people. Sorry.
I know that. And that's like with this whole journey, I feel like that's one of the things that I've tried to approach this thing from a really like a clean slate mindset where I'm like, okay, I'm going to reset everything mentally. And I just like, there are plenty of people in the world who eat what they want to eat and don't gain weight. And I realize there's metabolism and there's genetics and but there's not very many people who eat as much of whatever they want and don't gain weight, right? They just moderate.
Right.
And they're able to, quit when they're full. And so like, that's been the gift of Mounjaro is it's been the aid that has helped my body to keep up with where my mind wants to be. And that's just moderation. And that is something that I was so lacking. But yeah, so we both kind of held steady this week. That's great, especially for you, because your life has been just one thing after another the last couple weeks. So kudos to you. I don't want to congratulate you because I want to beat you, but kudos to you because it's very, very hard to sustain any program that you're on when life gets tough, and your life has given you a healthy dose of difficult the last couple weeks. So kudos to you for staying strong. Thanks for doing this tonight because this is extra work. So thank you for doing that. And thank you also to
I loved it.
Michelle, who is sitting in the green room, I call it. And she is moderating and kind of helping me keep track of the chat. I decided the chat is like too much for me to keep up to with and do all the things on the live stream. So thank you, ladies, for helping me tonight. I appreciate you both. And I just want to say one more time to the members of the channel, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being the best part of what we do here. Krissy, thank you again. Have a great week, Krissy. And hopefully
you too.
Have a great week.
I can't not say it.
But not too great.
Right.
All right.
Have an amazing celebratory meal.
Celery. All right. See ya.